When most foreigners think of Thailand, they think of amazing food, beautiful beaches, and super friendly people.
If I was to say the word Thailand, what would be the first thing that would come to your head? What would you think about first?
Food.
Food?
Pad Thai specifically.
Beautiful beaches and great food.
Asian.
Yeah.
Thai food.
Thai food?
Same as him.
Yeah, I just like the culture. It's pretty. Look, it's probably going through a change at the moment.
It's predominantly Buddhist, I think.
I think they're quite reserved and quite religious of a culture.
Now, there's always that one dirty uncle who, whenever you mention Thailand, they always want to know whether you went to a ping pong show. And sadly, Uncle Gary, no, I never went to a ping pong show. Now, Thailand truly is the land of smiles, and it will always be my second home. But just like any foreigner moving to a new country, for me, moving to Thailand required a significant process of integration and adaptation to a new culture and a new environment. Now, funnily enough, some of the habits that I learned over in Thailand, I've brought back to Australian life with me, like taking off my shoes before going indoors, covering my mouth when I pick my teeth, drinking beer with ice, not bad, and ducking down when walking between people. But there are some things that even after all these years of trying to understand that I just don't understand about Thailand. I know for many people they will completely disagree with me, so I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. The first thing, the military draft process in Thailand. I know there are many countries in the world who have mandatory military service for young men, like Korea, Singapore, and Israel. And I do understand why a lot of those countries have it. There is even a part of me that thinks a lot of young people would probably benefit from a little bit of military service, but quite frankly, the way Thailand chooses whether young 21-year-olds should join the military or not is quite frankly brutal. From my understanding, you can either volunteer, which means you serve for 6 months, or choose the annual lottery. If you decide on the annual lottery, young men are subjected to choose a black or red ticket. If they choose black, they are exempt from military service. But if they choose red, they are required to serve for 2 years in the army. Now, from what I saw, there doesn't seem to be too much societal resistance towards it, and it seems to be almost like a rite of passage for young Thai men. But for me personally, the whole process seems absolutely terrifying. Thing number 2, Thai popular music. This one's a bit controversial. I actually do like and listen to a lot of Thai music, and I've even embarrassed myself on this channel by attempting to sing some Thai songs. But the thing I don't understand about Thai music is that a lot of it seems really similar, the chord structures and style, and the lyrics are always about either love or heartbreak. Now, you could probably say the exact same thing about pop music in America or pop music anywhere, but just from my experience, I think this trend is just a little bit more extreme in Thailand. แต่ว่าจริงๆยังชอบอยู่นะครับและได้เรียนภาษาไทยด้วยการร้องเพลงไทยทุกๆการเดินทางของฉันรู้จะมีเธอมองดูไกลๆ Let's stop before I get a copyright warning. For any Thai people watching and wanting to prove me wrong, I'd love for you to leave some recommendations to upcoming artists in the comments below. Thing number 3, English education in Thailand. Now, I have mentioned this in another video, but I just wanted to emphasize it. As someone who volunteered as an English teacher in Thailand for almost a year, I think the English education system in Thailand is completely ridiculous. Now, I fully understand that so many Thais will never need English, and I'm not trying to force English upon anyone, but if you're gonna teach it in schools and universities, then surely it's better to teach it in a way that people can actually use it in daily life. In fact, these days, some of Thailand's biggest and most influential social media personalities are actually people teaching English. My personal favorite is
Don't worry, I got you. These are the conversation starters that you can use to hold a dazzling conversation with anyone.
Clearly, there is such a big market for content creators like this because so many Thai people want to learn English, but they've never really been given the practical means or resources to be able to use it properly. There is far too much focus on grammar and complex vocabulary rather than trying to instill a culture of พูดออกมาดีกว่าที่จะไม่พูดไม่ต้องกลัวคนอื่นจะล้อต้องมั่นใจอะไรอย่างนี้
Thing number 4, Thai television.
Now, when I talk about Thai television, I'm not talking about Lakon Thai, because I know there are a lot of viewers who really love watching. I'm more talking about general panel shows and reality shows in Thailand. Even amongst some Thai YouTube channels, the amount of sound effects, bright lights and colors has always seemed to me to be a bit over the top and almost tires me out when I'm watching. But who am I to judge people's personal preference? This is just something that I've always observed and I've never quite been able to understand. But I know there would be plenty of people who would disagree with me on this one.
Thing number 5, social media usage in Thailand and addiction.
I've also previously mentioned this in another video. The amount of social media usage in Thailand is on another level, and honestly, I really can't explain why. Why, compared to so many other countries, even within Southeast Asia, except maybe the Philippines, does Thailand have such a massive use of social media? It's a question that I've just never really been able to answer.
มีดารา ติดตามดาราชีวิตดาราคนไทยชอบแบบรู้ว่าอะไรแบบใครทำอะไรอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
น่าจะดูอะไรไปเรื่อยแบบไม่ทำกิจกรรมไม่ให้มันเหงาแบบดูอะไรไปเรื่อยเปื่อยเฟซบุ๊กครับผม
เราติดโซเชียลมีเดียต่างๆเนาะใช่ติดโซเชียลมีเดียแบบแชทคุยกับเพื่อนเวลาเราแบบเดินทางเราก็ต้องแบบเหมือนเหงาอ่ะอยู่คนเดียวไม่ได้แล้วก็แบบหาคนคุยหรือว่าเลื่อนหน้าจอดูแบบ Facebook Line Instagram อะไรอย่างเงี้ย
Now the great irony is that here I am complaining about social media on social media. So go yourself, Paddy. Anyway, regardless of all these things, I love Thailand. It will forever be my second home and a place that changed my life forever. And who knows, there are probably people watching right now who are thinking, Oi, ฝรั่งคนนี้ง้อมาก and they're probably right. Anyway, until next time, I'll see you guys very soon. เจอกัน